Councillor Johansson.
Thank you.
Draft submission on hearings panel report. I told you to get this done while I was away. Hearings panel report to the council on the proposed replacement freedom camping bylaw 2021. Presenter Deputy Mayor Andrew Turner, hearings panel chairperson.
Thank you very much indeed. So we'll take the report as read. I chaired the hearings panel made up of obviously myself as chair, with panel members Councillor Phil Major and Councillor Tim Scandrus. And as a starting point, it was generally acknowledged that current arrangements have been working well, bearing in mind there have been a number of changes to this bylaw since it was first put in place, but also it was acknowledged that we're in quite a different environment than normal at the moment because we don't have international visitors. So we took the view that the bylaw needs to be fit for at least the next 5 years, so obviously turned our mind to the likely situation when international visitors return, as well as looking at what's going on at the moment. So there are changes that the panel are recommending as a result of the submissions and hearing process, which are highlighted in the report, recommending that the council adopts the bylaw largely as proposed, but with changes including extending the city coastal restricted zone to the north, prohibiting freedom camping altogether in South Shore, and prohibiting freedom camping in the hillside residential area in Takamatua. We also changed the way that freedom camping can occur at Naval Point in Littleton, with some limitations and an overall focus on not hindering access. At a high level and more generally, we focused on freedom camping not occurring in a way that blocks thoroughfares. We took account of the new definition of self-containment and made some minor changes to the maps for Windsport Park to make the bylaw easier to understand. And all of those changes are reflected in the resolutions in front of us today. As part of the consideration, the panel made a particularly enjoyable warm afternoon site visit to locations in New Brighton and North Beach, along with staff. That informed our position and our understanding of the situation on the ground there before we made these recommendations. So that really summarises the changes from the proposal that the hearings panel is recommending. I take the opportunity to thank everybody who engaged with these processes, everybody that wrote submissions, everybody that came in front of the hearings panel, and the staff who supported the process. Tina Crocker would normally have been here today. She's off sick. We've got Vivian who would be able to answer any questions if there are questions for staff. But both Tina and Vivian and other staff played a key role in supporting the hearings panel. The hearings actually took place in an online environment using Zoom rather than meeting in person. Those meetings ran smoothly and effectively, and everybody who wanted the opportunity to be heard got the opportunity to be heard at the same time as we were able to observe the COVID requirements and restrictions. So if these recommendations are adopted today, the new bylaw will come into effect on the 1st of December this year in time for the summer season. That's everything from me. If there were any questions for staff, obviously Vivian would be available to answer them. Thank you.
You have moved the recommendations.
Happy to do that.
And
yep.
Does anyone like to second them? Phil Major has seconded them. Are there any questions? Cities.
Sorry, I'm a bit late to this, so I probably don't know the ins and outs. Is there an area that's designated for the freedom camping people that are sort of restricted now?
So the way it works across the city is that there's certain areas that there's restricted freedom camping, and then there's some areas that are prohibited where you can't do freedom camping. So we can't prohibit freedom camping across the whole city. The restriction is normally 2 nights in one place, and then you have to move on 500 metres. The new coastal zone will provide that there's a restriction of 4 nights in 30 days, and you do 2 nights, and then you have to move at least 500 metres somewhere else. You're only allowed to freedom camp in a self-contained vehicle, so you can't freedom camp in a tent or anything like that in the city.
Great, thank you.
Right, Anne?
Lots of information here for people who might be visiting the city. where would they go to find this information about where they can and can't actually camp?
So there is really good information on the council's website about this, and there are some apps as well that assist with that. Tina has informed me that we're ready to roll with implementation for the new bylaw and the changes, so there will be some signage going in, some additional signage, brochures will be updated, so there should be plenty of information for people to find out.
Right, that's good, and in good, clear,
Yeah.
plain speak as well.
Yeah.
Right, thank you.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded. Any debate? Tim?
Just to reiterate what the chair said with regards to thanking the staff, it was pragmatic and sensitive to the very kind of varying areas that covers. So that is really, really good, and the explanations were very clear for us. So excellent. So thank you very much.
Right, I shall put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That is carried. Thank you very much. And then